Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to build this base game residence. So if you'd like to go ahead and download it for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and like normal there will be a link down below in the description to the online gallery if you want to download the build that way. So recently I have done a lot of builds that's used quite a lot of packs in them. I'm quite good normally with trying to restrict the packs I use in my builds, but after doing that for so long, I kind of just want to do a build where I just don't think about what I'm using and I just build what I want. So I've been doing that quite a lot recently, so I thought to make up for it, I would go ahead and do a base game build. So if you don't have any packs, then you can download this build without any problems, and I'm actually really love how this build turned out. Sometimes base game builds can be quite simple, and it does look fairly simple in terms of the structure of the home, but it does have a lot going on with it actually. So I did use the ladders for the first time. I haven't used those since the update came, so I do a lot of dormers on my builds, like on the very top floor to make like a third floor, and it's just for decoration really. But I thought with the ladders, because it's kind of a good space saving item really, I thought I'll go ahead and use that today. So I actually made that dormer into a functional room, and it's like an attic, and there's a few activities in there, like an art room. So there's a lot going on with this build. As you can see, we do have a garage here attached, well, it's not attached to the side of the home, it's just on the side of the lot, and I did go ahead and make that into a gym. There's a nice big pool area, and we do also have hot tubs now with the recent update. It wasn't the most recent one, I think it was the 20th anniversary one in February. So we now have, you know, hot tubs within the base game as well, so that's great too. And then I did also go ahead and do like a study. There's a few kids rooms actually today, and I'm thinking what else, there's like a bar, loads of different things really. So I just tried to kind of cram as much in as I could with this build, because like I said, base game builds can be kind of simple, so I tried to make use of the base game the best I could. And this build, in terms of its like style of it, it's a very kind of classic Thomas TV type of build. So I kind of just wanted to do that today. And sometimes as well, when it comes to doing base game, I do kind of find it difficult to sometimes make things look really different and unique. But I did try to do that here and there. So this build, like I said, it's built on a 40 by 30 lot in Newcrest, and it has 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And like I said, I did do a kids room. The rest of them are fairly neutral, and there isn't that much going on with them. There was like 1 or 2 bedrooms which I didn't actually record on camera because they were just fairly neutral and simple, and it wasn't really the most interesting thing to kind of show in a video. So I think 2 of the rooms I cut out, but you know, I do put screenshots of everything at the end of my build, so you're not missing out on anything there. So like I said, this has 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and then in total it came in at 224,048 simoleons, which is kind of on the pricey side, but this isn't really like a starter home or anything. It's quite a luxurious, more upper scale kind of family home, so I didn't want to restrict myself on price. I thought I'd kind of give myself some leeway if we're doing a restricted pack build. I wouldn't worry too much about the price, but I've actually noticed that with Eco Lifestyle, a lot of those builds I've done, they did turn out to be really, really cheap actually. So if you do have Eco Lifestyle, then that's a good pack to use for building if you want to make things cheap, because pretty much all the builds I've done turned out to be fairly inexpensive, for me anyways. And speaking of Eco Lifestyle, let me know about what you thought of the pack so far now that it's been out for a little while. It definitely wasn't a pack that I was really looking forward to, because it's just not really my playstyle, but you know, I'm always, and I say this all the time, but kind of Cats and Dogs and Seasons were my kind of packs I really wanted, and now everything else is like a bonus for me. So whatever pack it is, it just kind of gives me more build mode items, so I don't really have much to complain about. But let me know about what you thought of it, and also what you thought of my builds. I know some people were asking to see a container style home. I think I've done one of those before, and I saw actually so many people doing them. I didn't really fancy doing one myself. If you'd still like to see that though, then let me know. But I do have other eco lifestyle builds on the channel to check those out instead. And I'm not too sure if I'm going to do any more eco lifestyle builds, because I think this is the first one I've done which isn't that theme, but I'll just have to see if anything comes to mind. So you can see there that we're using the hot tub. I think I used that in one of my last builds as well, the eco mansion. I think I used a hot tub. I don't use it too much because I'm not really a fan of the roof that's attached to it. I kind of see why they need to put the roof on it, because if it didn't, it would just be the perfect patio hot tub. But what I normally like to do is kind of make this sort of thing here like a raised up sort of patio section where I put the hot tub on, and then I kind of make it into a gazebo by making like a like a lattice fence roof to it, if that makes sense, with that really low lying fence, and kind of make like a lattice kind of roof to it to kind of cover up the area a bit. So I kind of make my own sort of gazebo, but the gazebo is actually on the hot tub, so I don't have to do that. But I'm not really a fan of the lights on it, but it kind of it's a nice touch anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we're just working on the garden area there, putting a few seating areas around. I put a few planter boxes as well as a climbing frame, because I imagine kids would live in this home. And like I said, I did do 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. I would have probably wanted to put an extra bathroom in there, so if 6 bedrooms is too much, then you could replace those for another bathroom. Or, like I always say, adding a basement in the home is actually fairly easy most of the time, and it means you can expand on the house really easily without having to worry about making a floor plan or making it kind of fit in with how the house is set out, really. Now the main staircase in the home is actually 3 tiles, so you could easily remove 1 tile and just make that a 2 tile staircase, and then you have like a 1 tile staircase going down to a basement. That I think would be a good place to put it, where the actual main staircase is in the middle of the home. And actually we're now onto the interior of this home, and I did do a very open plan theme. So the kind of main hallway area kind of leads into like a bigger space, where I decided to split it off a little bit and make it into a kitchen area, and then a smaller dining table. And then I did make like a more formal dining room at the back of the house where the glass roof is, and it kind of just made a nice sort of more formal dining room setting. So I put a bar in there and also a fireplace. And then also the living room in this home is pretty big as well, so it's very spacious and spread out in the downstairs area of the home. So if you like open plan themes, then I think this house would be great for you. And you could even add in like a laundry room or something if you have other packs, because you know I was fairly restricted just having base game today, but I think there was a lot of space downstairs where you could probably even put an extra bathroom in or a laundry room or something instead. So if you have more packs, then feel free to expand on the home. And yeah, so I did go with a blue theme for this living room. In my homes, I do try to keep things like fairly neutral in like the main part of the home, and then as I go into different rooms, I switch up the colour swatches a bit to kind of give each room their own sort of personality. But I kind of wanted to include colour, but not kind of make it look too out of place. So all the kind of tones of all the different colours kind of match very well, I would say. So kind of all blends well together, but it kind of has differences here and there to make things look more interesting to look at. And I've also found that these days it's much easier to do base game builds, because like I was saying before, we have so many things in the base game now to make things more interesting and playable than it was, you know, 5 years ago trying to do a base game build. So there's a lot more that you can put into the home, and a lot more just things to make it look a bit more interesting, because base game builds, for me at least, can sometimes be a little bit boring and kind of challenging to make it look interesting. But you know, now with all the extra things we have in base game, and you know, we're actually getting a lot of additions to base game on a regular basis, I would say. So it does make it a lot more easier to actually build these type of things, makes it actually a little bit more enjoyable because you have more to work with. And then also for you as well, because you can download it if you don't have many packs without any problems. So I did actually make use of the debug menu, like the show hidden objects and the live edit objects. I didn't do it too much. I think I kind of just, well, I just really had that cheat on, because a lot of the times I don't have it on when I'm doing building. And you can kind of find little hidden gems here and there that make builds a lot more interesting. So I did have it on. I didn't end up kind of utilising it as much as I could have, but I did put a few things here and there just to kind of make things look more interesting where I found it fit. So there we go. I did go ahead and put a glass roof in. Sometimes I have issues where I'm making an octagonal roof and I make it into a glass roof as well. It sometimes affects like when you're in tab mode and you're looking up and you can see like straight through into the upstairs. I don't know why it does that. I did have that glitch quite bad a long time ago. I don't actually put glass roofs in my builds that often, actually. I don't know why. So I haven't noticed if that cheat has been, sorry, not that cheat, if that glitch has been fixed. I hope it has, because it was fairly annoying, especially when you're taking screenshots. So we're just working on the study here. Some of the bedrooms do have their own study desks and computers and stuff, which I thought would be a nice touch. But I do, especially in like nice big family homes like this, to have a separate study room, so I did do that. The garage here is fairly small. I probably doubt you'll be able to fit in a debug car in there, but I did make it into a usable space by making that into a gym. And like I said, I did make use of the dormer as well at the top of the build and made that into an attic. The only thing is with the attic is that I didn't really have a very good place to put the ladders, because if you have an attic in real life, the ladders kind of fold up and you don't have them out all the time, at least in my home anyway. So it kind of looks a little bit odd kind of having the ladders going up to the attic, kind of just randomly in the hallway upstairs. But you know, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It is just The Sims after all. And it is functional. I think that's the main thing. So this one right here is the master bedroom. It was actually fairly large, so I did have a few extra things in there, like a little living room seating section. I don't always put those in bedrooms. I normally just do that with mansions where you definitely have the space for it, but I do often have the space for it in the master room, so I did do that there. And then the bathrooms, I did actually switch up the tiles between the bathrooms because, as you know, normally I would just do all the bathrooms with the same tiles for the floor and the walls, and then kind of just copy it over to all the bathrooms in that home. But today I thought I would make things a little bit more interesting and switch those up a little bit. The kind of way I do bathrooms in terms of furnishing it are always the same really, which is kind of a little bit of a bad thing because it kind of makes it a little bit boring to watch, but that's why I cut most of them out the speed build. But I thought since they all kind of got their own differences today, I would show a few of them in the speed build. But we're actually pretty much near the end of the build. We do have like a few minutes left of footage, but I think I've said everything I want to, so I'm going to wrap up this voiceover up here, and then don't forget the screenshots are at the end as well. So I really hope you enjoyed today's speed build. You can go ahead and download it from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1. Leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!